of Abraham Lincoln. Today, April 14th, 1865, our great president, Abraham Lincoln, has been killed. It was shortly after 10 p.m. at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C., while he was watching Our American Cousin with his wife, Mary. He was holding Mary's hand when John Wilkes Booth snuck up behind him and shot him right behind the left ear. As Lincoln slumped forward in his seat, Booth leaped onto stage and escaped through the back door. A doctor in the audience rushed over to examine the paralyzed president. He did not die instantly. In fact, he was sent over to Peterson Boarding House right across the street from the theater and laid in his bed until his death 9 hours later. Lincoln is the first president to be assassinated in U.S. history. Why did Booth do it? He thought it would aid the South, which had just surrendered to federal forces. President Andrew Johnson will step in to finish off his term. Now for a moment of silence for our former President Abraham Lincoln. The 13th Amendment has been passed. Today, January 31st, 1865, the 13th Amendment has been passed in Washington, D.C. It was passed by the U.S. House of Representatives by a vote of 19 to 56. The amendment states, "Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction." The amendment is going to ban all slavery in the United States. No slavery is allowed at all. Considering my husband is not an abolitionist, he's not going to be very happy. Also, the Black Codes have been passed, which means African Americans cannot vote, own guns, or serve on jury. Freedmen also have to sign a contract to work 1 year at a time. Today, June 13th, Congress has passed the 14th Amendment. This was passed in Washington, D.C. The amendment grants citizenship to all persons born or naturalized in the United States, which include former slaves who have just been freed after the Civil War. This provision made it illegal for states to discriminate against any individual on unreasonable grounds, such as skin color. The amendment has been rejected by most southern states, but was ratified by the required 3/4 of the states. The 14th Amendment is going to greatly expand the protection of civil rights on all Americans. Andrew Johnson vetoed it, but Congress overrode the veto in a result of it being passed. Today, February 26, 1869, Congress has passed the 15th Amendment. It is the first day African Americans have the ability to vote. It was passed in Washington, D.C. This gives African Americans the right to vote, declaring that the right of citizens of the United States shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any states on the account of race, color, or previous condition of servitude. Voting rights have been a big problem for a while, so that's probably why Congress did this. Thomas Peterson Mundy of Perth Amboy, New Jersey, became the first African American to vote under the authority of the 15th Amendment. The Ku Klux Klan begins. On this day, in 1866, the KKK has made their first attack. A quarrel between whites and black ex-soldiers erupted into a full-fledged riot in Memphis, Tennessee. White policemen assisted the mobs in their violent rampage through the black sections of town. Some things the KKK do are burn crosses and lynch African Americans. They originally started as a clan of Confederate soldiers, but have now evolved into a terrorist organization. They wear white robes and hoods to hide their identity. Their goal is to regain South power and not have African Americans be able to vote. Their meetings are usually held at night. Everybody stands around a circle with the main leader, the Imperial Wizard, in the middle leading the meeting groups. Groups just like these are forming all around America, so lock your doors at night and stay safe. Here are a few pictures. Thank you for watching CNN's 8 o'clock news with your anchor, Addison Elliott.